Good morrow, fine lads and ladettes. It's Scott the Mass Nerder, and I am bringing you the long-awaited Rolls to the Recon. Let me first say, this video is actually about how to most effectively use this kit in a squad dynamic, not necessarily tips for those struggling. But, as someone who does struggle with the sniper rifle, I'll give it a bit more playtime and then come out with some more tips on how I went from horrible to, well, average. Though this video will include some advice that can help you when you're on your own still, I think, and will definitely help you to become an asset on any squad. And speaking of average, as you watch these clips, they're not going to be the most impressive sniper clips ever, but I'm not a very impressive sniper. I had a lot of clips showing some of the other roles of the sniper that I'll talk about, but they weren't really exciting. So here's sort of just a mix of sniper clips that will hopefully entertain you enough, but if you want, leave the video playing, listen to the great tactics, and check something else out on the computer. And now let's move to the roles. Generally, a sniper's primary function in warfare is to provide detailed reconnaissance from a concealed position and, when possible, reduce the enemy's fighting ability by striking high-value targets. In the process, pin down and demoralize the enemy. And now let's break each of those down a little bit. Reconnaissance and callouts. Goal 1 is to find ideal positioning. This position needs to offer sight lines on multiple enemy paths or defenses, but also give you room to work with. What I mean by this is not one of the sniper towers, or a crate with only one opening, anything like that. You need to have space and adequate cover. Space, like a building with multiple windows and levels, which will keep the enemy shooters guessing, never being able to line up an easy shot on you. While mentioning this, you need to know, lying prone should be for 1 or 2 kills tops, then move, and keep moving. By setting up in a location like this, buildings, hilltops with ample rocks, along other structures with area to stay mobile and effective, you also provide a safe mobile spawn point for your squad. Avoid placing the mobile spawn beacon right behind you. Put it in a distant location if possible. This grants your squad the ability to not only spawn on you, but also in another location when necessary. You've got your position, now put it to use. Don't stress trying to take down every enemy you see. Focus on the target you can take within your skill level and most threatening to your team, like an engineer standing still while lining up a rocket shot, or an enemy sharpshooter lying prone in the grass. For all the other targets you see, just make sure you spot them and use effective callouts to alert your squad where their flank is weak, what routes enemies are taking, and so forth. Having someone to actually get an overhead view of the game is invaluable if the information is shared in an understandable way. If you need help with callouts, check the playlist linked in the description and get your squad to do the same. Let's move on to demoralizing the enemies. I've already mentioned target prioritization, but I need to reiterate myself. Far too many people, including myself, take shots they are not ready for. If you start firing at an enemy assault at 100 meters or less and miss, the odds are they will be able to return fire and most likely get a kill or at least suppress you enough to render you ineffective. And you've given away your position. Using semi-automatic rifles can be a little more forgiving, but you must choose your shots. Don't be rattled easily. Just because an enemy comes running down one of your sight lines doesn't mean you need to take the shot. First think, can you make the shot? If you hesitate, save the ammo and spot the enemy and give a good call out to your squad. Spot assist can really add up for points, trust me. As you get more comfortable in your roles, you will decrease the hesitation until knowing when you have a clear shot will be second nature. Once you learn these things, you can really start destroying the enemies. If not killing them, you'll be calling them out so they get taken down by your squad mate. Because of your vantage point, you'll be seeing them no matter which route they take. They're going to be effectively shut down, and they will show it. They will get frustrated, start sprinting more, switching to engineers with rockets, or more snipers. Not only are they demoralized, but it's better for you. Recons or engineers trying to line up their shots make for easy targets for you. Now let's go into details. The Recon should be one of the most knowledgeable people on the battlefield. The knowledge spans to the map, the callouts, tactics, and of the happenings of that individual match. This knowledge only comes from practice. Practice finding spots on the map, practice getting used to your squad, and if you haven't found some regulars to squad up with, do that. I have information in the description for how to find squads if you're struggling. And practice staying mobile and using different rifles. As you develop these skills, you'll become a bigger and bigger part of your team. When on defense, you can set up watching enemy positions and giving your squad callouts for which routes the enemy is taking. This is a good place to hone your skills. Talk to your squad after the match or during the slow times. Are you helping them? How could you improve? On offense or other game modes, here's where you really need to stay on your toes. Your squad is going to be moving, so you've got to stay in range of them. If you can't see your squad, or at least see the entrances to buildings or rooms they're in, who are you helping? So stay with in what we call the Overwatch role. You're sticking with your squad, but you've got enough distance between the next man in your squad to never allow the enemy team to get a double kill. If the squad aggressor takes heavy fire, search for a safe spot to provide covering fire, or if your team goes down, set up the mobile spawn point. To find a good spot, you have to have an idea of the enemy positions, as we've said before. Now, I'm not going into serious detail on the gadgets at this point, but these can help you locate enemy positions. These include motion sensors in high value areas or unwatched flanks, or the micro air vehicle, MAV, to get in the air, spot the enemies when having difficulty locating them with your scopes or from your position. Plus, if you get a little comfortable with it, which I am not, the MAV can be a very effective killing machine. Though, after 3 games of trying and some of the clips on your screen now, I still don't have 1 kill with it. Also, the MAV can be laid down in a mobile position, over an objective, over a route, and work as a motion sensor as well. The Recon Kit is a very common kit for many Battlefield players, but many seem to stick to laying prone with no mic in the middle of a field or on top of a roof with no cover. Your roles involve more than just killing, though if playing the kit right, you will die very few times and still get plenty of kills and points. And when you get into those unavoidable close quarter fights and your team isn't in support distance, use that sidearm. But this reinforces, stay close to your squad. You can help them more, but they can help you as well. And hopefully you will be a happier, more successful recon, and your team will be happy to have you after picking up a few things from this video. And of course, if you're not really happy with the sniper rifles you have available to you now, bring in the all kit for a bit to rank up. Team Deathmatch is a great way to get some kills for the kit and rank up the all kit weapons. So before we wrap up, let's quickly go back over the key points. Get a squad together and learn some callouts. When setting up, look for areas with ample cover and space to move around so you're not always popping up in the same position. This is not always a location you may see the most enemies, but one that helps you and your squad. Don't fire at every enemy you see, only the ones that you think you can take, or those by themselves with no other enemies to aid your target by returning fire on you. And lastly, practice. Practice setting up in different spots, using the callouts, using different weapons, everything. If you have a supportive squad behind you, you'll never get stressed and you'll have them to give you honest feedback on how you're doing. Now good luck nerders, and if you like this, check out my video on flanking in the top right, showing off multiple things you should be thinking about when flanking the enemy. Or see my latest live team commentary showing what we consider to be great callouts and great teamwork. Happy gaming.